We were sent the Strike Industries mass drive compensator. We have to install this on the PSA Dagger, explain the functions of a compensator, and then describe the pros and cons that comes with adding a compensator to a firearm. Let's start by showing what all comes in the box. And it has already been opened, so you know, but we have the compensator, we have the Allen key, we have the adapter plate, we have the internal spring for the compensator, the head of the guide rod, we have the recoil spring, and we have their own guide rod, and it has some Loctite. You want to start by field stripping the firearm, and I do have my eye protection on since I will be dealing with springs. The firearm is clear, of course. So you want to remove the guide rod, put that to the side, put the frame to the side. The adapter plate, look at the shape of where the recoil spring guide rod goes. The adapter plate goes right there. Now the guide rod itself, if you can see, this rounded area with the little ends is what goes down into the barrel. Now, this can be a little tricky with that guide rod because you have to have their guide rod in the right orientation in order for it to go through the adapter plate. And just to show you, without the recoil spring, this is how it sits. If you can see that, turn it towards the light. That's how it sits. I'm sure there are multiple ways to do this. Some may be easier than others. What I try and do is, I try and compress the spring and see if I can hold it to get it into that through the adapter. Down into the barrel lug. And as you can see, have their proprietary guide rod sticking out. You see the compact on the side, if you can see that. You see how it's in the right direction, like you can read it, compact, lets you know what's in there the right way. Because it can be, like I said, if you had it upside down, it would also go through that way. But seeing that compact in the right orientation, I guess it'll be better to show it like this, where, you know, like if it was written on the slide, compact, you can see the word there. Lets you know it's in the right orientation. But take the guide rod. Now, when you put the guide rod just on, you see where the screw sits. So it'll be best to go in and put the Loctite on before you put the compensator on. And this is the blue Loctite, of course, as you can see it. Just put a little dab. And with the Loctite applied to the end of the screw, go in and put the compensator on. Put the spring first, then you put the cap on, press down. You should be able to get a few turns on it to be able to get it to hold there until you get the Allen key that they provided. screw it down. You don't have to make it overly tight, but you do just want to tighten it down. The Loctite will hold it in place. And then you put the slide back on the frame. Make sure that the guide rod doesn't stop the slide from going all the way to its rear. And now with the compensator installed, I'm going to perform a function check. Going to pull the slide to the rear, pull the trigger while holding the trigger to the rear. I'm going to rack the slide and release it. Release the trigger to the reset. Pull the trigger again. Now I'm going to take 2 dummy rounds and put it in the magazine. Load the dummy rounds. Load the magazine into the firearm. Load one of the dummy rounds. Pull the trigger. Release the trigger. Slide locks to the rear as it should. And that is a function check with the compensator installed. The only thing to do is a live fire test after that. What makes this particular compensator different than most compensators need a threaded barrel to screw on to the end of the barrel. This compensator is attached to the guide rod itself, so even without a threaded barrel, this compensator can be used. And in certain states that don't allow threaded barrels, you can still use a compensator like this that is connected by the guide rod with a regular barrel in any state. When you deal with ports, with the changing of the gases, how the gases flow through the firearm, it can change the speed in which the slide reciprocates. With a ported barrel, it'll be necessary to get a lighter weight recoil spring because there'll be less gases to push the slide to the rear. And then with the heavier recoil spring, the slide will come forward faster than normal and will lead to a failure to eject. Those are some of the pros and cons that come with compensating or porting a barrel.